Hey everybody, and welcome back to Grounds Family Farm. First off, this is not a greenhouse video. We just needed a dry place to put this out so that we could tell you all about the girls' fair week. It's been a super busy week, a lot of long hours, and they worked really hard, and it was a great week. It all started off on Monday. After I got off work, we got the girls to town because their 4-H group had a float in the parade, which kicked off the fair. So they rode in the parade, threw out a bunch of candy. It was funny because before we got started, the girls were kind of upset because they were like, normally we get to pick up candy during the parade, but this year we're having to throw it out. So we told them, was like, well, we'll go. And so they talked to their grandmother, their Momo, into sitting along the sidelines and catching candy for them. And everybody in town knows her, so she got them a pretty good little amount of candy for them to have. And then a lot of the kids, I also told them before they got started, I was like, be conservative with your candy because there's a lot of kids toward the end of the parade. A lot of the floats run out of candy before they get there. Kimberly rode the float with them and was kind of guiding them to watch them with that, and she helped with that, and you can tell about that part.
So they started out by chunking whole handfuls of candy, and I was like, no, let's limit how many pieces of candy we throw out each time because there's a lot more kids later on because there's certain areas where there's a ton of kids. And so they started, throwing out a piece or two per kid that they saw, which was fine. I noticed Izzy wasn't throwing out as much, and I was like, throw out a little bit more than that, because there's more kids than that there. And then she threw out a little extra, and I would talk and wave to people that I knew that hollered my name or something. And we get almost to the end, and she's like, "Mommy, look." And so she opened her bag and still had a third of a bag of candy left. And I said, "Why did you not throw out the candy to the kids?" And she said, "Well, I wanted some for myself." So she saved her own candy. The kids on the route did get plenty of candy, but it was kind of funny because she was making sure that she didn't go without too, since she didn't get to pick it up this year.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. And then after that, well, I guess before that, it actually started before that. They had chicken check-in. We were both working, so my mom had to take them, and they do testing of the chickens to make sure they're healthy before they can put them in the barn. So they did that beforehand. Then Tuesday is when stuff really kicked off and it started getting busy. They had animal check-in from 6 to 8, which we actually got there early because I didn't know how crowded it was going to be. And so we got there, I don't know, 5:30 or so. And just so happened the state was already there, and luckily they were already checking in animals. So got the paperwork in, and unfortunately the pigs have to have an ear tag, and our vet didn't put them in. But several other people use the same vet, and so we kind of had an issue. And luckily somebody there had a tagging tool and was able to put the tags in their ears because it's some new state requirement that they all have to have. It's like an RFID tag that they use to track the animals, make sure they're healthy in case they go on to state or to other shows. So we got that done. And then it's supposed to be weigh-in after that, but some people had some trouble with their paperwork. So weigh-in ended up being, I don't know, was it close to 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be at 8:30, and it was like 9 or 9:30 before we got to do weigh-in. They didn't have any kind of orders, just like first come, first serve on getting them weighed. So there was a couple people that took theirs first. Their pigs went nuts because they'd never been in the ring before. And so then I'm just thinking, oh no, I hope ours do not go crazy because around here they do great. But I was like, you get them around a bunch of people and stuff, and it's going to be nuts. And they have some plastic boards they use to kind of guide them, but it's pretty much like an open ring, and it's people trying to herd a pig across.
Yeah.
So thankfully, the girls' pigs did great. They walked them right over, didn't have to use the boards until they got right at the end. They had pallets lined up and a bunch of people right at the scales, and they weren't really sure about getting on the scale, so we used them to kind of guide them for that. But other than that, the girls just walked them back and forth, and that was great.
Yes.
So here's your chance. Down in the comments, I want you to leave a comment how much you thought Lulu weighed and how much you thought Lily weighed. We'll show that a little later in the video, but go ahead and comment now and we'll see if you're right. Because there's a pretty good little difference between them, but I was surprised by the weights. So we'll go with that. So after weigh-in, that was all for the night. We got them in their pens, bedded down and all that. And then Wednesday was the poultry show. And on that, they do it in a couple stages. The poultry judge was late. He'd forgot that he was supposed to be there to judge the show.
Yeah.
So that started about 2.5 hours later than what it was supposed to. So they normally do judge the poultry, and then they do showmanship where the kids have to pick out one of their birds, go up there and talk about it to the judge.
Yeah.
And so they did showmanship first because he was so late. And so the girls picked out their bird, went up there, talked about them. They did great on that. Got a little clip of that we'll put in here. And then they got third place overall on their chickens because Abby was in the junior group, and
Yes.
Izzy was in the peewee. So they were in different categories, but they both got third on their birds, which we were super proud about that.
Yes.
And then that was pretty much it for the
Yeah.
fair part. That night they had the fair animal scrambles,
Yes.
which most of it's 4-H kids, but they do open up the chicken scramble to other kids if they signed up ahead of time. But they do chickens, pigs, lambs, and calves.
Yeah.
And it was pretty wild night. The chickens was pretty entertaining to watch. They had that place a dust storm, all the kids running around trying to
Yes.
catch those chickens. Neither one of the girls caught the chickens. Then after that, was it the pigs or the lambs?
The pigs.
Pigs were next. They were super small pigs.
Yeah.
And they just, whenever they set them down, the pigs pretty much just stood there.
They
So
froze.
it's pretty much the first kid that got to them caught it, and that was the end of that. Normally, the pig scramble is one that's pretty funny because the pigs run all over the place. But so the girls weren't the first ones on those, so they didn't get those. And then the lambs were the same way. They set the lambs down. Lambs didn't run. It was pretty much the first person who got to them caught that.
Yeah.
Then comes the calf scramble. And it was open for ages 9 and up. And so there was a lot of kids who didn't participate in it because the calves they had were probably about 400 pounds, but they were pretty gentle compared to the ones from last year. And Abby had signed up for it because we were like, go ahead and sign up for it. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to at the time. So she's kind of teetering tottering back and forth beforehand because she was nervous about it because she had never done the calf scramble before, because last year she sat out on it. And so whenever it got time, I told her, I was like, if you want to go out there, I was like, just go line up. I was like, if you decide that you don't want to chase her, you don't feel comfortable, I was like, just don't chase it, and all the other kids will, and nobody will know the difference, and you just stay toward the back of the pack. Well, as soon as they turned the kids loose, she was all about it. She took off running, got right in the middle of it, chased the thing all over the place, until there was a point that the calf got against the thing and knocked a gate open, and they had to run him back in there, and that got him kind of spooked up a little bit. He started bawling. And then just running through, well, Abby just happened to be in his path, and she thought that the calf was out to get her, but the calf was just trying to get away from everybody else. She took off running and scaled the fence like a spider monkey.
Yes.
It was so funny. Luckily, somebody that we knew was over there, got her down. I ran around to get her, and she was shaking. She was so scared. And everybody, she was scared of the incident, but she was also kind of embarrassed because she's afraid that people were going to make fun of her for being scared. And I was like, no. I was like, it was brave of you just to go out there. I was like, there's a bunch of kids that are bigger than you that weren't brave enough to go out there. And Abby's kind of iffy on cows anyhow that she doesn't know. She's good with ours, but she still, if one of them acts up, she gets a little leery. And so I was just proud of the fact that she actually went out there and gave it a try, because I expected, when she actually decided to go out there, I figured she'd just stand at the back and let them do the thing. But she tried for a while. But thank goodness she did not catch that calf, because it was pretty wild. It took them a while to get, and they finally got it done. But she was in the juniors. The senior high calf was about the same size, but there was one kid that got his rope around it, and it actually, he's probably, I don't know, I'd guess 130, 140 pound kid, and it drug him, I don't know, 20 or 30 yards before he was able to get it caught. So if she would have got her rope around, that thing would have drug her all over the place unless she'd have let go. So it's pretty crazy, but we were proud of her that she got into it, and super happy she did. And everybody's telling her how brave she was for trying, because they were too scared to do it. So after that, we had to go back, get the pigs washed up, cleaned up, because they showed first thing the next morning. So we did all that. That was a pretty wild time, because it's their first time in the wash bay up there, and it was dark, and so they weren't used to it. They did pretty good, but Lily did not like it. She was trying to climb over the wall, and so we got them all clean and got them back in the pen, though. So that was great on that. The next morning, they get up to show. And it was a pretty good time. Like I said, they were nervous too, afraid their pigs were going to act up, because most of the time they had 3 in the ring and then 4 for the main shows. And then whenever they did best of show, there was like 7 and 8 in the ring at a time. So Izzy went first because she was peewee. Didn't win anything with hers because it was the market hogs. And so they were looking for different qualities. And she had picked out a smaller one whenever she initially got started, because she just liked the smaller pig. And that kind of hurt her on the market hog, because they wanted one that was stretched out a little longer and a little bit bigger. And so she didn't place on that. And so then it went to, Abby went out there, and she actually got second with Lulu. Lulu got second in her weight class. And then so once they got done with that, they moved on to commercial gilts. And if you had a female pig, you got to go again, show twice. So on the commercial gilts, Izzy went out first and got second.
Yes.
Yeah, for the commercial gilts, it was by age. So they did all the age classes, and Izzy got second in her age class. And then for the best of show, they take the first places of all the age classes and go out there.
Yes.
Well, we were telling Izzy to come out because she was second, not first. And the judge is like, no, she needs to stay in here. And so even though she had the second place pig, she actually won reserve grand champion of that weight class over the other first class pig because they liked her second place pig better than the first place in the other age group. So she was super happy with that. Got a second place ribbon and a reserve grand champion ribbon.
Yes.
And then it went on to Abby. So Abby goes out and she won first place with Lulu in her age group for the breeder gilts. And so with that, she had to stay out for the grand champion show. And it came around, the judge picked another one for grand champion, but then she got picked second place. She was reserve grand with hers. This was over all the commercial gilts, not just her breed. It was all the commercial gilts. She got reserve grand champion. And it was funny because the judge had picked her and was talking about it and everything, and Abby didn't have a clue.
Not a clue.
And so finally, did you catch that on camera?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
So finally, when it's over, we had to tell her, like, you got second place. You reserve grand champion. And she was ecstatic.
Yeah.
She had no clue, but she's super excited. After the pig show, that was pretty much it for us for the day. We went back later that evening to take care of the pigs and to catch the horse show because they had a friend that was in the horse show. So we got their pigs cleaned up and ready for the next day, which was the premium sale. And the premium sale is like a mock auction. They take their animals out in the ring, and all the business in town of people will bid on it. The company that gets the winning bid will pay that money to the child for pretty much like rewarding them for their hard work and everything on the animal. They still get to keep the animal, so it's not like an actual auction. So Abby went through that, did really great with that. And then that was pretty much our fair week.
Yep.
Afterwards, my parents helped. Kimberly and I had to go because we had another engagement where we missed the end of that. But my parents went down, helped them get the stalls cleaned up, brought the pigs home and all that good stuff.
Yes.
So now that we've told you all about it, we're going to throw some clips in there and let you actually see what all went down during their fair week. It was a pretty exciting time, so stick around. Let's see if these things will load up.
Let's go low. Hey, let's try to get them.
See if they'll just get on the trailer themselves.
Lulu, look what they have. Look what they have. I have a treat. Hold up.
Put one up there so she can see up there.
The bag's up here, Lulu. Come here. Lily, look. I'm gonna try to get. She used to going in a circle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to.
So this is pretty crazy. I don't know if they're going to be able to get this done or not. We may have to go get some actual feed to get them to get up in there.
Go to get your peanut treats. Go get your peanut treats.
Yeah, just get up there and let them see the treats.
Daddy. Come on.
Just see if she'll ease on up in there.
Come here, Lulu. Come here.
Keep going. You have to back up or she won't go.
Get a treat if you come in.
Keep going. You got to keep backing up with her. She's about to get up in there. Get one down there for Lulu to smell.
Lulu. Basically getting each other's pigs in. Just 1 foot up for Lulu.
She's going to go. She's going to go.
Come on, Lily. Might be too high.
No, they can get that high. It's just pigs don't really like going up stuff like that. But we don't have a ramp for this. Here, in the paint. Get in the trailer. Get in the trailer. Get in the trailer. Get in the trailer.
Lily's gonna get in. You got treats in it.
She's going to.
Let's go, Lily. Let's go. This is like the treat that I got. Come on. You got this. Come on, she's probably gonna be eating. Hey, what if one of us is in the trailer and one of us is out of it?
It'd help if we weren't on a hill. Oh, is. You're going to tear your dress. You're going to tear your dress.
Follow me. That was fun. You can do it. Y'all can do it. Y'all can do it. Come on, piggies. You'll get a ton of feed in the trailer. Yeah, you'll get a
Okay, hang on. In a minute.
There she goes. Let's see how much this piggy weighs.
I bet it weighs 100.
Get over there and get ready. Good job, Lily. Good job, Iz. Izzy. I don't know.
Double check.
I know it's on. Make a song for my daughter. When she Good job, Izzy.
Good job, Izzy and Lily. job.
It's not very.
It's okay, just walk with her. Good job, Iz. Good job. Oh, she's good job, Iz. Good job. Good job.
Jace. Where's Addison? Oh, okay. All right.
There we go.
This makes up class 4 hogs.
It's a good thing home.
She is. She's doing so good. There we go.
I think it's close here between 2 and 3. The young lady's kind of target top built here. I think needs to work her way into the 2-hole. One that just in terms of flexibility, she's more relaxed in terms of her spine. One that takes a longer step out of her front skeleton. She's set back a little further in terms of the angle to her shoulder blade and her knee. A gilt that's chock full of muscle when you read her down her top and out of her hip. For as much muscle and body mass as she has, I'd just like to see that one a little prettier, if you will, in terms of her top and her hand. She gets a little shorter in terms of from the point of her nose to the top of her shoulder blade there. I'd just like to see that one a little taller front, a little more extended up front. She too wants to round out of her hip ever so slightly as they drive this kid. Let's give these kiddos a nice round of applause.
If you want to go brush her, that's fine. It's okay, Is.
Big cattle exhibitors, we're getting your exhibitor numbers together. So when we get them, we'll get them to you.
She's trying. So cute.
Once again, we have some gilts out here that we've already seen, but not to be repetitive, but a little bit differences maybe in terms of how they're going to be placed now from how they were earlier. Just now we're talking about breeding gilt situation. I still think that the young man's gilt here, young man wearing a red shirt, needs to win. I love this one in terms of her flexibility. She's extremely pliable in terms of her skeleton. Gives you a cool up-headed kind of a look about her. Just extremely feminine and refined in terms of her top and kind. Young lady with a pink bow here with a white belted top of the gilt's going to wind up second in this class. And I think as a breeding gilt, her extra productive and opened up look when you read her through the center portion of her body and the outward curvature to her rib cage is probably what seals her fate into the 2-hole. One that gets a little more pinched in terms of her ham one, but I still think as a breeding gilt, that one in terms of her structure, her extra mass, and her term look, probably needs to work her way up into the 2-hole.
There we go. Just hold it in your hand.
bring our two class winners back out here for Champion Reserve Dark Cross, and we went ahead and kept our second out of that competitive class. I think the two class winners are both really nice in terms of their type and their kind. They're two gilts that have some extras into them in terms of a little extra body, a little extra muscle, a little extra stoutness to them, and I think that could certainly help them as far as generating the next generation. They got some NSTs that they can pass on, and a lot of versatility in terms of a bunch of different lures that can protect them in terms of where they need to be changed. Young lady here in the pink bow, she's second here behind our champion, and once again, I think it gets a little closer between her and the one that wins that first class. So there's some definitely differences in terms of type and size and kind for me, but the next best one in terms of just their overall design and levelness is going to be the young lady here that was second behind our champion, the young lady in the pink bow in reserve.
You got it, babe. You got it. It's okay.
Got another nice class up here in our light crosses. I think the young lady's blue mask field needs to win this particular setup. Just in terms of her maternal look, her extra durability and productive type of look about her. She's the biggest in terms of her bone, her foot size, the roundest in terms of her rim, gives you the softest and the easiest doing kind of a look when you're reading from the profile. It's closer here between the two young ladies in terms of second. And I'm going to use this pink crop here gilt to be in the two hole. One that's a little more different in terms of our class winner, as far as a little more extension and levelness when you read
She doesn't even know.
A little taller in terms of the point of her shoulder. This is not change this one. She's a little flatter and more plain in terms of her underline. Like I say, a little more smooth and more maternal type of look when you read her through her center. The blue rump gilt's going to come out next. One that we like in terms of her extra shape and power and dimension, and that certainly worked in her advantage in terms of the market hog show. It's a little terminal looking out here in terms of being a breeding gilt. Like to just maybe see that one a little more feminine in terms of her top of her kind. We end up classing a little lighter weight top of the gilt here. It's just as sound and mobile and athletic as any of them. With that extra soundness, I'd just like to see a little more body, volume, and performance to go along with it. Nice pair up in there, like that blue mask.
Lulu's just tired. Hey, you won.
Congratulations to Abigail Grounds for winning grand champion in White Cross. Second place was Addison. She's gonna fight.
Okay.
It's okay.
Let's do that and get her away.
There was just one Hampshire gilt, so we won't have to wait for a second back out here behind her. I think there's another couple of them out here that are in contention when it comes down to being reserve out here. There's one in particular, two of them in particular, I think that fit together extremely well from a breeding standpoint, as far as some gilts that have some extra mass, some extra dimension, some extra maternal character about them. To me, there's one of them that's just a little cooler in terms of the type and kind. And later you're going to have reserve.
This is for Pee Wee Showmanship. We have one more kid coming. After this, we need... All right, this is your Pee Wee Showmanship classes.
It's okay. Daddy might have it.
Is there 5? We got one more coming. That's it?
Yep.
We got 5.
This is your Junior Showmanship, 5 entries.
Lulu's just tired.
She's very tired.
These are everything.
Yeah.
Abby,
It's
it's
a
okay.
bunch.
Let's give these kids a round of applause. It takes a lot to get out here. There's a lot of
You're doing
work
so
with
good,
these
Abs.
animals. I mean, it's not just one day a week, it's every day, several times.
here for our junior championship lineup. And once again, probably not as many kids maybe out here right now, but I think all 5 of them doing extremely good job. Extremely impressed with the quality and showing out here in this junior lineup, and certainly really tight out here. Once again, we got an extremely bright future out here. 225, 225, 225, 225, 200 here to 25, 225. You look at a good deal. 225, 225 here to 200, you get a 25. 200 here, but 225, 225, 200, 225, 200, but 225. 200 here, but 25, 200, 225. 225, 250, 250, 250, 275, sir, 275, 300, 300, 325, 325, 325 here to 300, 325. 300 here, 325, 325, 300, 325. 300 here, 325, 325, 25, 300, 325, 325, 325, but we're now 300 to 325. Sold it your way, Agri Co-op, $300. Thank you, sir.
So we hope you enjoyed watching those clips of their fair week. They had a really great time. They won a lot of good prizes, and even if they hadn't won, they would have been happy because they enjoyed the process. And they're already counting up now what they're going to show for next year because they're wanting to expand what they're showing. I'm not sure if we'll do pigs again because pigs is one of the most expensive things to show because their feed is crazy. But the girls talked maybe about trying to show a calf or a sheep if they can come up with that, maybe a goat. So be sure to stick around and find out next spring what we decide to show next year because they have got it in their blood and they are super excited. We appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you next time on Grounds Family Farm. Bye.
Bye, guys.